Shalom, Virgil. Like you're the first one here. Shalom, everybody. Jamal, Thomas, Maria, Layla, Jerded, Carol, GT, Orel, THLP, RJ Connections, Elena, Deadshot 81, Eddie. How is everybody? Ancient Gardener, Shalom. Wow. I hope everybody is doing well. How you doing, Brenda Hill? Shalom, Ocean Soul, Fitness Addict, Sean Black, Lily, and Elegant, the Elegant, Beverly Sims, Ellen, SJ. Wow. Y'all came. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. It's just going by so fast. All right. Let me try. I got to get myself set up over here. You know, even I had to fight my way onto the unemployment site. It took 5 hours, y'all. 5 hours to file that unemployment. It was ridiculous. You literally can't get on there. I feel sorry for anybody that got to go out and file for unemployment. It's treacherous. It is treacherous. All right, I'm just going to give it a few more minutes and then we'll get started. Okay. Okay. Wow. It's all rainy and cloudy. It's been like this for like 2 days in a row in my state. But it kind of fits the mood of America. I just got an alert not even 2 minutes ago. The death toll up in New York is 965. They're almost at 1,000. Yeah, well, Ocean Soul, they can find money anytime they want to find it, except for when we say reparations. When we say reparations, all of a sudden there's no money. There's no money to give us, you know? But for anything else, the money just seems to appear. This country got the money. We know that. They're full of shit. Oh, you saw that video 99, video files 99, the 200 cops, NYPD cops that had to go into quarantine. Yeah. You know, it's tough. It's showing you exactly what would happen if we were all out there working. Just look at the professions that are still working during the lockdown. More and more U.S. Postal Service members are getting CV. You got the cops getting CV. Hospital workers are getting CV. Even these people in these retail stores that are open in the grocery store, they're getting CV. It's like everybody that's working, they're showing you that's the roadmap to what would happen if everybody returned back to work. Amazon, shoot. I had an issue with one of the products I ordered from Amazon, y'all. When that product came to my house, something was wrong with it. So I went to call Amazon, and the voicemail said they were closed due to CV. You can't even get customer service on the phone for Amazon. It's really rough. Yeah, I got family in Jamaica, Queens, and I saw how they got people all packed in to the hospital, laying right next to each other side by side as they're trying to help them with CV. I mean, they got them packed in there like sardines. It's crazy. And I was looking at some story um, where nurses, some of them don't even have a mask or gloves. They got to use their bare hands and wash in between patients. They have nothing. And I don't know if any of you are aware of this. New York is advertising big time for nurses to come in there and work with those CV patients. I think they now got the salary up to $100 an hour if you're a nurse and you can come into New York and help. That's what they are offering. So, yeah, everybody is in a desperate state. So they are trying to pay nurses top dollar if you're interested in going in there. The only problem is you're very open to getting CV because they simply still don't have the medical supplies at all. They don't have that. Hi, Loretta. You came to join me. So, I mean, it sounds good, but you're taking a chance. Yeah, it's crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's not worth it. But you know what, Tomix, McNeil, there are some that would still take the chance to do it. As insane as it may seem, some would do it. They would take, hey, I'm a nurse. I'll go in there for $100 an hour. Yeah, I mean, it is just crazy. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You can go in there and work. Just know they don't have anything to protect you. Not unless you got your own mask and gloves. Don't expect those hospitals to give that to you because they don't have it. Yeah, it's amazing. Even when I look out my window, it's like there is no life out there. Thank you, Metho Nelson, for the super chat. Thank you. Risking your life for $100 an hour. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, there's a few people that live on my street that works for the U.S. Postal Service. And I know Lions Den, they are getting sicker and sicker every day, those postal workers. And that's another place that expect you to do your job and they won't give you any mask or gloves to the postal workers. So they are literally out there getting sick each and every day. Yeah, I know, Loretta. Let me see if I can open the door for you. Maybe she just want to leave. Come on. Go ahead. All right. All right. Sometimes we forget about a lot of the things that occurred before CV even started. But, ladies and gentlemen, the opioid plague did not go anywhere. In fact, because of CV, many of them can't even get treatment if they're in rehab now. So there's a great fear that there's going to be a relapse. with a lot of these folks that were getting methadone and getting help from counselors in rehab. They've shut all those places down. So now these addicts are wondering, they're wandering around here trying to get the drug again. So the whole cycle with opioids is actually going to start over again. So I have this article, Deaths of Despair examines the steady erosion of American working life, class life. So these folks are struggling in this time, and deaths of despair is still going on. And, that's suicide by people that are doing a lot of drugs and alcohol. Well, that's still going on. It's like those, it's now getting pushed. Opioids is now getting pushed in the background. It's still there. It's still a huge problem in America, but CV has definitely overtaken everything. Everything. So here we go. The 20th century was an era of rapid and unprecedented improvement in public health overall the world. The United States alone, a person born in the 1900s could expect to live to 49 years. By 2000, that person's great-grandchildren were likely to see their 77th birthdays. Reaching old age is no longer an anomaly, but it is true for people of every race, ethnicity, and social class. Around 2000, however, came a stark and dramatic reversal of the trend, one documented in the disturbing book, Deaths of Despair and the Future of Capitalism by Ann Case and Angus Deaton. Now, they're saying for white Americans between the ages of 45 and 54, average life expectancy was no longer increasing. In fact, it was actually declining. In a pattern seen almost nowhere else on earth, if increases in life expectancy had continued at the rate, some 600,000 more Americans would now be alive, Case and Deaton wrote. This reversal in life expectancy has come almost entirely among white Americans without a 4-year college degree, who make up 38% of the U.S. working age population. Wow. So that is a huge you think about that. That's a huge chunk of the white community. 38% of your people don't have any degrees at all. That's a lot of people. Something is making life worse, especially for less educated whites. Case and Deaton wrote. Thank you. What's that? Canon Mal Louis? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. Much of the decline stems higher from suicide, opioid overdoses, and alcohol-related illness, the deaths of despair. Thank you, Metho Nelson. Thank you again. Okay, so Americans are drinking themselves to death or poisoning themselves with drugs or shooting or hanging themselves. There's also no longer making progress against heart disease due to high rates of obesity and tobacco. While U.S. smoking rates have declined over the years, they remain stubbornly high in states such as Mississippi, Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee. Smoking rates are actually rising among middle-aged white women who lack a bachelor's degree. The American that Case and Deaton write about is an intensely class-bound place where less educated experience higher rates of severe mental disease, have more trouble with the instrumental activities of daily life, such as walking and reporting more pain. Chronic pain is now more common among middle-aged people than the elderly. By contrast, Americans with a bachelor's degree live longer, enjoy more stable families, reports happier lives, and abuse opioids and alcohol less often. They even vote more. Once suicide was more common among the educated. Today, the reverse is true. So the less educated white person is more likely to commit suicide now. Case and Deaton don't shy away from the likely cause of this public health scandal, the collapse of the steady, decently paid manufacturing jobs that once gave meaning and purpose to working class life. Men without good jobs make lousy husbands and for poor fathers. They may have children from a series of relationships, some or none of whom they know of, and some of whom they are living with. Some fractured and fragile relationships begin little daily joy or comfort and do little to assure middle-aged men that they are living a good life. In such a world, marriages break up and social bonds fray. The institutions that once provided ballast to working class life, unions and mainstream churches, have proven largely ineffectively against the forces now reshaping the globe economy. And y'all, this was all going on before CV. This is all happening without CV being mentioned. And what you don't realize, this stuff is continuing on behind the scenes, and we're just not hearing about it because of the pandemic going on. Case and Deaton do a great job in making the case that something has gone wrong. The solution they propose, such as repairing the U.S. safety net and overhauling the broken U.S. healthcare system, are worthy ones, but somehow don't fill up to addressing the social problems that they spell out so well. Something more will be needed to address the steady erosion of working class life with the heartbreak and despair of the engendered. Ladies and gentlemen, now everybody is out of work. And just based on what they're telling us here, suicides are going to go through the roof. You've seen that one video I did on a man that jumped from his luxury apartment in New York because he was in self-isolation. And I guess he just couldn't take it. And the way things are going right now, we know they're talking about CV being around for 18 months or longer. 18 months or longer. And I was looking at another article, and they are worried because many of the rehab centers up there in New York had to close. And the drug addicts that were trying to get clean are now trying to figure out what they're going to do. So they're trying to, when they get methadone, they have to come there first and test. If they fail a drug test, they can't get methadone. Now, what they're saying is they're going to have to figure out if they can mail this to the drug addicts that are there to get help. So they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Yeah, I agree with that, Rasha Men. There are going to be more suicides, definitely. So again, without rehab being open, every one of these addicts are going to relapse. All of them are. And and even before CV, they never could get opioids under control. Remember, it's been around for 21 years and it was growing every year. Well, Ellen Collins, what I read about the postal workers is they're going to continue to work, although, many of them are getting sick. But as of now, they're not going to close the U.S. Postal Service. I don't see how they can't do it if your carriers are out here getting sick. Yeah, I mean, you could literally go outside now and just get coronavirus. Don't take much to get it. Well, just make sure you sanitize, anything that you bring in your house, and that includes your mail. I know that may sound crazy, but there are so many people licking and spitting on things. You just don't know. It's best to be on the side of caution. It may seem extreme, but better to, be safe than sorry. The CC 712, a 20 something white girl killed herself because of isolation. Yeah. You know, some people can't handle that isolation. Yeah, Andrew Collins, they are saying that the warm weather will kill it. You know, eh, many people are, but I noticed one thing that Anthony Fauci, that medical expert that is always with Trump and he's talking. He said technically they really don't know what coronavirus is going to do when the warm weather comes. Now, many people are saying that it should go away in the summer months, but because this is such a new virus, they really truly don't know. They don't know. So we will see, because look, we got hurricane season coming. And I don't know if any of you have heard this. I was reading what the Weather Channel put out, and they were saying that this looks like it's going to be a bad season. So if you got people on lockdown, they can potentially be driven to the streets by the bad weather. Okay, so now what do you do with these people that have to leave their home and relocate, especially if their home gets destroyed or end up underwater during a hurricane? So you're going to have to worry about relocating people, and some of them can be potentially sick with CV. So now you're opening up a whole new can of problems right there. Yeah, because yeah, you hear people, oh well, if I get it, I'm gonna sit outside in the sun. No, it won't. So, I mean, we shall see. Look, I lived through Hurricane Sandy. I can tell you straight up, I don't want to see no more hurricanes coming. FEMA really is not helping at all. Now, think about this, y'all. I'm glad, Olivia Stone, I'm glad you brought that up. When these hospitals were short on supplies, FEMA is the organization that really should have stepped up to the plate to help all these hospitals out. You notice FEMA can't do it? FEMA cannot do it. They are, whenever something disastrous happen, they're supposed to be there. If you notice, FEMA has not stepped up to the plate for these hospitals at all. See, this is why I was trying to tell y'all when you were talking about, because I remember years ago, people were running around talking about, oh, they gonna round black people up and put us all in FEMA camps. Y'all must not have ever seen how FEMA works. FEMA works horribly. Look at what they did in Puerto Rico. FEMA don't have the ability to round no damn body up and do all that mess, okay? They just don't. I saw how they worked after Hurricane Sandy, and I can tell y'all, they didn't help no damn body up in the neck of my woods. FEMA didn't help a living soul around here after Hurricane Sandy. So I do not know how they got the ability to round people up, and you can't even help people on that small island of Puerto Rico sufficiently. When FEMA went in, you know what they were giving them for meals? Skittles. Skittles. Okay? They were giving them candy as a meal. Come on. An agency that's doing that, they can't do nothing to you. Trust me on that one. I mean, some people were talking like FEMA was some powerful agency. No, they're not. And I can tell you that firsthand. FEMA can't do crap. Look, when the hurricane, what was that, Hurricane Michael that hit the panhandle, those people are still in tents, y'all. Go pull up some pictures. Those people down there in the panhandle, many of them never did get in homes or apartments. They are still in tents. Where's FEMA? They're not going to do anything. They're not powerful enough to do anything like that. I mean, that is what the agency is for. It's supposed to help whenever there's a disaster. Now you got hospitals all across the country going through a lack of medical supplies and equipment. This is where FEMA should have been coming in. Well, yeah, I was reading how many of these folks are trying to leave, and I did a video on how many of these folks from the city are trying to go to the desert and the mountains. Well, many of them are trying to run to rural America too, believing that they can escape CV. They really think they can escape it. And the bottom line is those rural communities are horrible to go through. You just think about this. Many of them don't even have hospitals. If you've been following my videos, you know many of the hospitals in rural areas are gone. Many of them don't even have, they barely got one doctor there. So if you ran there and an outbreak of CV happened, you would really be screwed because it has a serious lack of medical help now. And many of them got to travel miles and miles to even get to the nearest hospital. That would be a horrible place to go. Well, I don't know if y'all saw this, but up in Rhode Island, they went house to house to get rid of people from New York. And Cuomo got so mad that Rhode Island was throwing out New Yorkers. He said to the governor, I'm going to get you back for this. I'm like, wow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes, CV is already in the rural areas. But if you got all these people from the cities and suburbs running there, it's going to really be exploding in the rural area. Yeah, it's bad, Black news. It really is bad in New York. Like I said, I got a notification just before I came on this live stream that the death toll is up to 965, I think. It's close to 1,000 people in New York. And the number is just exploding. And see, this is why no one should be talking about, oh, the number of people that got it in the country. No, you haven't tested that many people, so you don't know who got it. And you can best believe there's a lot of people out here with it that have not been tested. And then you got a crowd of people. Some don't believe in going to the hospital. Do you know how many old Black people I have come across and they don't want to go to no damn hospital? I've come across many in my life like that. They don't want nothing to do with a hospital. So when those folks get it, how are you going to know if they're not tested and they won't go to a hospital? They don't trust these doctors or nurses, and they don't trust no hospital. And many of them, they'll rather die at home than go to a hospital. CC 712, FEMA is stealing the money they are supposed to use to help the people. We can guess who is in charge of FEMA. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, it's rising all over. Right now, as far as the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut are the worst states of rising CV and deaths in the Northeast. We are right now the worst. Yeah, Westwood 123X. You're right about that. FEMA is a fraud. Look at Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, they didn't do shit. That's why when people used to tell them stories about them rounding us up, I was like, FEMA? Not the FEMA that I know. They don't work that efficiently. And they're like most government agencies. FEMA works very shorthanded. They never have the right amount of people at all. They work shorthanded. Even when they went into Puerto Rico, they had to hire. They were begging to hire people that would go down into Puerto Rico. They didn't even have enough people for Puerto Rico. Yeah, CH 464. Yeah, rising in Ohio. Yeah, it's bad all over. But see, Trump, remember, wanted to send everybody back to work as of the 12th of April. Now you see how many people are getting CV and we're on lockdown. If we go back to work, there is no turning back. This thing is going to go so far out of control. Your hospitals are barely keeping up with the situation now. If you send everybody back to work, there is no help. There's no hope for these hospitals at all. At that point, they absolutely will not be able to handle the amount of people coming in there if everybody returns back to work. Yeah, well, they're gonna have to close. It's kinda counterproductive, you know? Okay, so you reopen the business, as things get bad, you're gonna have to close everything down again. Look, they even doing that over at YouTube. Right now, AI is pretty much running the YouTube site. They got a few people, but they don't have the people there that prior to CV. They may come in, I think last week they came in for a few days and then disappeared again. Roz, amen. At least in Texas, there are 2,000 cases and 27 deaths and rising. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you're right, Marshall. A million films are racist AI. That's exactly what it is. Look, the article already came out and said their AI targets black people. It targets the black YouTube creator more than anyone else. You know, anytime somebody gets up and tells you by the 12th you need to go to work, number one, you did not resolve this CV thing. People are still getting sick, it's still being spread. You don't give a damn about your people in order for you to make a comment like that. You just don't care at all. You're right about that, Roz. As Esau is on life support, Esau's whole system is on life support right now. The entire system is. Shoot, I was looking at Forbes online, and Forbes said we're in a recession. You know, they don't care what these people are saying. We are in a recession. And that how do you not be in a recession and nobody is working? Of course this population is in a recession. Yeah, we are. You would have to be. How are you going to keep a country out of a recession and nobody's working? It's impossible. Yeah, he does what they all do, money first. Money first. The hell with the people. Money first. Get out there and make the money. You can't make money if you're sick. That's the bottom line. Like I said, even if they tried to open everything up, it's counterproductive. They would have to shut everything back down again. Eventually, you wouldn't be able to keep it open for long. Yeah. Well, yeah. If it's airborne, technically, this is what I'm saying. If, and we know it is airborne, CV being airborne means if the particles are in the air, then you would have to protect your nasal passage and your eyes. Think about that. You would have to protect your eyes too. Any area that you have a soft tissue, like your eyes, you would have to protect that too. Thank you, Cinnamon Star 808. Let me see if I can pull this up. Uh, see if I can pull this up. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Hold on one second. I'm going to share my screen with you in 1 second. All right, let's see if I can get these pictures. Come on, come on. Okay, come on. Where is it? One. Here we go. Let me just blow this up some and then I'll share my screen with y'all. Let me share my screen. Right there. Okay. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see the screen. All right. Now, just take a look at this. I want you to see this. Y'all see this? This is what it is like if a person sneezes around you and let's say they don't cover their mouth. This is what it looks like. What they did was videotape it and then they slowed the frames down in order to get the still shots. This is what goes out into the air from a sneeze. Okay? So you can see how easy CV can get into the air. This is what comes from you from a sneeze. A lot of people don't realize when you don't cover your mouth, this is what you're sending out into the atmosphere. This is what it looks like. You may not physically see it with an eye, but when they slow down your sneeze, this is what it looks like. Yeah, that's a real sneeze. And that's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. Now, with CV, if somebody is coughing around you, a lot of that same thing is coming. Oh, y'all working at YouTube, XEM? Oh, I didn't know y'all were working today. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you are coughing, and let's say you have CV, then that is lingering in the air 3 to 4 hours. Just from that one person coughing or sneezing in the room. No, Curtis. Unfortunately, it's not only a Chinese person. I can show you some shots of people of other races and it looks the same way. Yeah. So, yeah, if you notice, people are definitely more paranoid around folks that are doing any kind of coughing or sneezing out in public. Yeah, people are now losing their minds over that. So really, if you're not feeling good, the best thing for you to do is stay in the house and not try to travel like that. Mhm. Mhm. Let me see if I can find that other shot. Give me 1 second. I got another one on here. Let's see. Yeah, that's a sneeze. And you can see it's just as much of those droplets in the air. Mhm. Yeah. So you definitely want to be careful. I mean, this is no joke. And I know some of y'all know that Scarface, the rapper Scarface, he now has CV. It is gross. When you look at a still shot of a cough or a sneeze, it is nasty. It lets you you don't realize how bad it is until you see a still shot of it. It is disgusting. But it also lets you realize how easy it is for something to spread like a virus. Yeah, I mean, CV really it's impacting probably the worst people with compromised immune systems, and unfortunately, it's a lot of people out here like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is gross when you look at a slowed down image of a sneeze. It is disgusting, and it lets you really you see and you can realize how anything can spread. Well, Andre Carswell, everything can't be a hoax. Okay. I know a lot of people keep going around with, oh, well, this is a hoax and this ain't real. They don't have that. Everything can't be a hoax. Okay. Everything that's happening cannot always be a hoax. And no defense, but some of y'all be calling every damn thing a hoax. Every damn thing can't be a hoax. Hmm. Yeah. Well, in my state, if you are coughing on people or you're joking and making light and telling folks on your job you got CV and you start coughing around them, that is considered an act of terrorism in New Jersey and you get arrested for that. And unfortunately, there are people all over this country licking and touching and going out and spitting on elevator buttons and on doorknobs. And, you know, as soon as they catch up with you, you're going to go to jail. Maybe that's why they're letting the low level crime go so they can make room for all of these folks out here doing all this crazy mess. Yeah, yeah, I was talking about that before about FEMA buying the coffins. Yeah, and that was heavily going on like around, especially like 2011, 2012. A lot of people were talking about that, and they were bringing coffins of all size. Some of the coffins can fit two, three, and I think the biggest coffin can fit 8 bodies. It was some crazy stuff going on. And I think it was Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was one of those places they were storing all those massive amounts of coffins. Well, they're trying to y'all did y'all see them stories out there? These folks that went out there and went buck wild buying all the toilet paper, paper towel, and all that shit. They now trying to return that shit to the store. And because of coronavirus, they won't take the merchandise back. Some of them even got signs, even around here. If you bought toilet paper, do not bring that back. The stores are not taking anything back and giving you a refund now. So if you went buck wild out here buying all the toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and you looking at that stuff at home and said, well, maybe we went a little overboard, we need to take this back, the stores are saying no refund. Thank you, Cinnamon Star 808, for the super sticker. Thank you. Yeah, stores are not letting you refund nothing. In fact, a lot of them will tell you they have changed their refund policy. They changed their refund policy. You ain't returning nothing. Well, I don't know why people were going out of their minds, grabbing all the toilet paper. There was never any problem with the amount of toilet paper that's in this country. There was never a shortage. There's a shortage now because people created the shortage. But technically, there was plenty of toilet paper to go around to everybody in the country. There wasn't a shortage, but your ass went out there and created one. That's stupid. Now, I read the number one thing that's flying off the shelves, y'all. The number one thing flying off the shelves is the hair dye. Thank you, Method Nelson. Thank you. Yeah, they're buying up all of the hair dye. Okay, one thing I've learned, let me go back, Metho. One thing I learned about this pandemic is how much we're constantly exchanging body fluids with each other and not even realizing it. This will change how I interact with others going forward. Yeah. Look, they tell people to practice social distancing, and there's a lot of people still not doing that. They're just not doing it. Yeah, but they look stupid now. Okay, so now you bought up everything out the store. You realize you're not going back to work anytime soon. You're not going back to that same job. Now, oh, we better take this back to the store and get a refund. Well, how do we know your family don't have coronavirus and you're bringing back an item that got those germs on it? Those stores aren't going to accept that back. It's a pandemic going on. Those people don't want to get sick. They're not taking that back. But that's what these fools are doing nationwide now. That's one thing. I'd never went out there losing my mind over the toilet paper. In fact, I didn't do that over any of the food that's out there. I got what I needed, and that was it. I don't think I needed to overbuy everything. I think that's ridiculous. Yeah, there are a lot of people. Rufus Germain Daly. Yeah, there are a lot of people that have cabin fever. They're tired of being at home, but what else are you going to do? You can't really send them back on many of these jobs. There are companies that have thousands of employees. You can't bring all those people back, and then next thing you know, a few days later to a week, because CV actually spreads very quickly. Thank you, Cameron Charles, for the super chat. Shalom to you. You got all of these people, and it's going to spread fast. So ultimately, what happens? You got now a sick workforce, and you're still not getting anything done at that company. Soaking light, I have no idea why toilet paper became such a big deal. I really don't. The whole thing makes no sense. You know, I get the hand sanitizer thing a lot better than I do the toilet paper. And I mean, it was the toilet paper, the paper towel, they sold out of that, and the hand sanitizer, but there were other things too. The water. Ellen Collins, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you. And with the toilet paper, I have no clue. I guess it was one high IQ person that went out there grabbing all the toilet paper, and then that just sparked it right there. Then next thing you know, you had nationwide high IQ people buying out all the toilet paper. Yeah, the hair dye is selling out. I guess these women that fake told their husbands they were real blondes, and now they can't go to the hair salon, that's shut. So now they got to go out there and buy up all the blonde hair dye, I guess, so they can continue to lie to their husband about being a real blonde, I guess. I don't know. You know, hmm. Hold on here. There we go. Yeah, Roz Amen. I saw that too. A lot of people that had it in Wuhan, China, they were testing positive in the beginning, and then they tested negative, and now those same exact people are testing positive again. So they are saying that China is getting ready to go through a second wave of it. So that's an indicator, and it also should show you, once you get it, that's it. You got this thing. It doesn't go away. It don't go away. It may just kind of suppress itself when you come up negative, but it comes back. It's like HIV. I guess in a virus form, like a virus form of HIV. You don't get rid of it. Yeah, Rufus Jermaine Daly, you're right. The second wave is usually worse. Yes, because by that time, the virus has mutated multiple times. That's very true. Very true. Yeah, I saw that on Phil's channel, that Hunter virus that they said is supposed to be worse than Wuhan. Yeah, I saw that. That is crazy. I think didn't he say that came from rats? I think that came from rats. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised Apple is closed. Apple is technically not an essential store. Mhm. I could care less about hair dye. You know, as far as my hair is concerned, my parents didn't even have a lot of gray when they were in their 70s. They didn't even have a lot of gray hair, and I just got that little strands here and there. That's about it. But I don't have a lot of gray hair. And I remember when my parents were about my age, they didn't really have a lot of it either. I'm not even going to sweat no hair dye. That's the least of my concern. You're talking about Marshall, Million Films, Bill Gates, where you at? Shoot, where's the Pope? Yeah, we ain't. When was the last time we seen the Pope? I think the last time we saw him was what, Ash Wednesday? We saw him on Ash Wednesday, and we haven't seen him since. Hmm. He's hiding. Yeah, Lamar. He is hiding because we ain't seen his ass in a long time. It's been several weeks since we seen the Pope. Lucky Lloyd, they gonna need a new pope. I don't know. With all the churches all shut down, I don't know if they is the pope still necessary if all the churches are shut down. What is he gonna do? He can't even do mass anymore. So is it really necessary to have a pope? Maybe we can live without one. That's the way I see it. I didn't need him in the first place. The Pope is out getting hair dye, Wayward 242. The Pope is out getting hair dye. No, you know what, Karen Thomas, I never believe they were going to give reparations, but I was talking about it because I knew it would get to them. I was just doing it to annoy the hell out of them. But no, they would never do it unless they're in a position where they're being forced to do it. Just like CV, where they had to let many of the inmates go. They are not going to do the right thing on their own. We already know that. Thank you, Metho Nelson. Boris Johnson is awfully quiet as well. Oh man, I still can't forget that suit jacket with all them lint balls on it. Now I know some of y'all said it was dandruff. No, let me tell you something. I know lint balls when I see them. I know the difference between dandruff and lint balls. There's no mistake in the two. He had lint balls all over his jacket, and I was like, "And you're supposed to be a world leader? I ain't never seen nothing like that before." Yeah, we ain't seen no sighting of the Pope at all. And then he called himself doing a live stream. And I said, how do you know that was not pre-recorded? You know what I mean? That could have easily have been pre-recorded and they just showed that mess. He got it from Knowledge One. He said he got that suit jacket from the Goodwill. Do you have that over in the UK? I guess they do. Ocean Soul. I have been to the Vatican. Yeah, I've been to Italy before. Yeah. Well, I can tell you right now, our governor is not letting anybody go back to work. And, so Trump is out of luck. And so far, I heard our governor, New York, and some of the other governors say that we're absolutely not going back to work on April 12th. Thank you, backup trick 44. Thank you. The Most High is doing what he does best. He absolutely right. Yeah, I saw old fake Prince Charles got CV too. Yeah, I saw that. The Dr. Carpy. I did see that. Yeah, you're right about that, Ocean Soul. Get right with the Most High. Yes, make sure you're repented and prayed up. I mean, look, we're about to look at what March was like, y'all. Look at what March is like. Man, I'm already cringing over what April is going to be like. April is going to be something else. And by the way, we got another super moon coming on April 7th. Is it no April? Yeah, I think the 7th of April. We got another super moon. It's called the pink moon. And this one is supposed to be the biggest and brightest super moon of the year. So we do have another one coming. We're not that far away from the next super moon. Thank you, Versatile Legacy. Thank you. We cannot trust nothing they say. We have to fact check everything. You're right about that. Mm-hmm. You're right, True Royal. Chinese people going crazy about money. They sure are. That's all they got on their mind. They want us to come and patronize them again. I think so too, Lamar Jones. I think April will be worst month yet. I agree with you. I do too. I think as we roll around, roll through the months, each month is going to get worse. And the death toll in the US is definitely going to go through the roof. No doubt about it. I don't eat Chinese food either, CH464. I stopped eating Chinese food long before this started happening. I ate it back in the day, but you couldn't pay me to eat that shit. You couldn't pay me. Thank you, Jack Roberts. Hey, love from the UK. Well, love back to you from the US. Well, James Mosley, I think that judgment is here on America. I think it's here. I really, truly believe it's here. Yeah, I don't even like the smell of Chinese food now. I don't even like to smell it. I don't want it nowhere around me. And when you really think about it, we should not have been eating that garbage to begin with, because that's all it is. It's garbage. It's whatever they can get. Look, you can pull up the videos of them doing all kinds of violations. I pulled up a video of a Chinese man that took the meat outside and was chopping the meat up on the sidewalk. And then I don't even think this video is still on YouTube, but a couple of years ago, I saw a video on YouTube, and it was a New York restaurant, and they had a box of rats, y'all, a box of rats. And when you came in there to give your order, this cook reached into the box of rats. He killed the rat, skinned it, cut it all up into pieces, and he cooked it. I kid you not. That video was on YouTube. Every day, what this man would do, he would go in the alley and collect a bunch of rats and throw them into a box, and he would bring it into the kitchen to cook. And somebody caught it on camera. They caught everything on camera. I will never forget that. If you see that and you still want Chinese food, I don't know what's wrong with you. And I really, truly believe, if memory serves me correct, that was a Chinese restaurant up there in New York that was doing that. You saw a video of a Chinese man cooking a German Shepherd alive. Yeah, I've seen them deep fry a dog. I've seen a video of that too, where they have their wet markets, and you can go in there and buy whatever you want, dog, cats, rats, deers, anything you want. And they had this huge, huge deep fryer, and they just put the dog carcass in the deep fryer, and they fried them. You know, when you look at stuff like that, no wonder why people are getting sick. There are some animals, just like in the Bible, they tell you there's clean and unclean animals. There's a reason why you should not be eating unclean animals. You know what I'm saying? You should not be eating those unclean animals. Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. I don't know. I've had dogs as pets growing up, and even as an adult. I never looked at them and thought they would taste good as food. Okay. Not one dog that I had, I felt that way about. Yeah, yeah, they'll still eat cats. You can have that mess. I mean, yeah, ocean soul dietary laws, exactly. You're not supposed to even eat anything that got paws. If it got paws, that is something you're not supposed to eat at all. Well, Mr. Lawrence, eating unclean animal, that can attribute to why there are viruses that you are getting directly from that unclean animal. Yeah, you backup trick 44. No, those are all unclean. You should not be eating shrimp, catfish, and pork. You're right. Yeah, Rod's amen. I used to be in the kitchen with my mother all the time too. So I would see her cooking, and that's how you learn. Yeah, things like lobster, they're supposed to keep the ocean clean. If you eat those things, then you are knocking off the balance in the ecosystem down there in the ocean. You're knocking everything out of balance. So how is the ocean going to clean itself up if you're taking the creatures out that normally keeps the ocean clean? Catfish, shrimps, lobsters, crabs, they're supposed to keep the ocean clean. Yeah. You see, I don't climb the wall from staying home. It don't bother me to be at home. I guess some people that are used to being out and about all the time, yeah, I guess I can see how it would bother you, but for me, I'm just chilling out. Mhm. Yeah, well, I saw a video of those, was it the Koreans? I think it was the Koreans, and they were eating octopus live. The thing was still live and they were hacking off pieces of it and eating it. Yeah. And I mean, and even if let's say you got clean food from a Chinese restaurant, they're still frying it in the same grease that they put the pork in. They're not changing that grease over. So whatever they fried the pork in and the shrimp in, they're frying your chicken in that same grease. They're not changing anything over. But one thing I am going to do more often now that this is going on, I'm actually detoxing y'all for the next 15 days. I've already got 4 days down of detoxing. And I said I was going to start detoxing every 6 weeks, you know, get a good colon cleanse done. Thank you, Cinnamon Star 808. So that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't hurt. I should do it more often anyway. It doesn't hurt anything to do a good cleansing. Cameron Charles, Lisa, also with all the chemtrails and pesticides, they kill off the bees and butterflies. I can't remember the last time I saw a bee and butterfly. You're right about that. I can go almost a whole summer without even seeing just the regular yellow jacket bees. You really don't see them quite as often. Well, I bought an herbal one. Hold on, let me go get my bottle. I'll tell you exactly what I'm taking. Here it is. All right, it's called, and I got this from Amazon. It's called Herbal colon Detox and Cleanser. And it says 15-day quick herbal colon detox and cleanser. And I got it right off of Amazon. It was probably about 10 bucks. It really was not that expensive, about 10 bucks. And you take it at night with 8 ounces of water. And that's all you do. You just take it at night with 8 ounces of water, but you will definitely be running to the bathroom. I can tell you that right now. You're going to be running your behind off to the bathroom. So it's a 15-day quick herbal colon detox cleanser from Amazon. Yeah. And you just take one or two capsules at night. That's it. That's how you do. When you wake up, trust me, you're going to be going to the bathroom all day. So I figure nobody's working now. This would be the perfect time to do it, right? Not going nowhere. So I can get up and go as many times as I need. It's like hold on, let me pull it up on Amazon. I'll show it to you. Give me a moment and I'll share my screen. Here it is. All right, hold on. I got it on my screen. Let me share my screen real fast with you. Okay. Okay, here's the one that I got. It's it says right here 15-day quick herbal colon detox and cleanser. And so if you look on the back, let me see if I can go here. It tells you right there, suggested use for occasional use, 1 to 2 capsules taken at bedtime with 8 ounces of water up to 15 days, or as directed by a healthcare professional. So, and they tell you to repeat every 6 to 8 weeks. And you can see everything that's in there on the back. So this is the one that I'm doing. It's $10.99. And I actually had this probably since the beginning of the month, and I just started my detox like 4 days ago. So I'm 4 days into my 15 days. I do my own alkaline water, Roz, amen. I already have a picture and everything. Cameron, Charles, and we depend on these animals to pollinate plants. Absolutely, not just the plants, but if you got fruit trees, the bees have to pollinate the fruit trees as well. You know, I have a pear tree and a plum tree on the property. And if you go out there in the summer, you'll see the bees all over the tree pollinating it. So you can't even have the fruit without the bees going into the tree and pollinating the flowers. Thank you, Loveline Turner, for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Wow, is that true? True Royal? Three cops dies in New York from CV? Damn. Oh wow. All right, y'all. So this is the one that I have, and trust me, this for it's $10.99 on Amazon. And trust me, this thing works. It works really well because my butt be going to the bathroom. I've been going all day long. I'm in there all day long. So this stuff works very good, very nicely. And looks like they got 14 left. They're not out of stock yet. They still got some left. So this is for anybody that's interested in detoxing too. You know what they say, all diseases and ailments all start in the colon. So I figure with all this stuff going on, this is a perfect time to detox. All right. Okay. Well, Karen, I'm sorry, Karen, I'm saying it again. Boy, Cameron, Charles, how you do alkaline water, you get a pitcher and there's a filter that you buy. Inside the filter, that's where the alkaline is. So all you do is you add your water. And then once the water is sitting in there, it automatically becomes alkaline. And it's really good. You know, you can get the pictures also on YouTube to make your own alkaline water. That's what I do. I don't go out and buy. You can buy the cases of it, but in my opinion, it is too easy to make it on your own. Hey, you know, because of CV, they couldn't even have their New Year's celebration. What is it? The year of the rat? I think 2020 is the year of the rat, y'all. They couldn't even have their normal New Year celebration over there in China because of CV. Wow. Hmm. Yeah, people got all kinds of ways they can make. You can get it from oh, come on, y'all. All right, let me show you the picture I got from Amazon. All right, hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can pull the picture up that I have. Let's see. Thank you, Night to Shady, for the super sticker. Okay, so see if I can find that. Okay. All right. Share my screen again. Okay. Here is the picture that I have. If you can see this on your screen. Okay. Okay. So here's the picture, and it tells you right there alkaline mineral water. And that's exactly what you want. Picture of life, alkaline mineral water. And it actually comes with the filter. Here's the filter. That's the filter cartridge. And then all you got to do is just add your own water to it. And that's how you make your alkaline water. All right. And you can buy the filters. I have bought quite a few of them. And it's a pretty nice size pitcher. It's a nice size pitcher when you have it in your refrigerator. And here's other brands that you can get. You know, it depends on what you're looking for. And here's the filters right here. But the Picture of Life one, that was good enough for me. And that's about $40. And the nice part is you know, about this is, you know, you remember when Dr. Sebi used to talk about alkaline food? Well, if you make alkaline water and then cook your food with it, you're actually making your food alkaline. So when I use mine, I drink from it and I cook from it. Any type of food that I need to add water to, I use my alkaline water. Even my ice trays at home, when I need to refill my ice trays, I use my alkaline water. So there you go. Thank you, Cinnamon Star 808. All right, y'all. I'm going to go, but we'll definitely do this again. So I want to thank everybody that came by today. And the next time I get a good story, I will go ahead and we'll set up another live stream. And the stories are coming out fast, so that definitely won't take long. All right, y'all. Everybody, no matter where you are on this earth, may the Most High protect you with his hedge of protection. And make sure you stay prayed up. Make sure you repent. And if you do those things, everything will be okay. We don't have to run around here in fear like all of these other groups are. Shalom, family.